Well, hey there. Welcome back to The Explainer. I want you to just settle in with me for a moment here. Take a really deep breath and let the stress of the day just kind of fall away. Tonight, we're going to explore the philosophy and really the hidden reality of something so profoundly ordinary, yet just unexpectedly fascinating. Honestly, it's something you probably have sitting in your fridge right now.
This video is not for reality, but for imagination. If you are watching now in the quiet of the night, put your phone aside, close your eyes for a moment, and let the words draw the pictures inside your mind. Do not think too much about whether this is real or not, for in this video, imagination is what leads the story. Okay, now open your eyes. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture two blocks of cheese right in front of you. One costs $2 and the other $40. They have the exact same color, they have roughly the same smell, the basic idea is literally identical. But are they actually different? Or is that expensive block just cheap cheese wearing a fancy designer label? Well, today we're running an honest blind test. Absolutely no snobbery, no brand loyalty. We're just going after the unvarnished truth about what your money actually buys.
To do this right, we need a structure. So we're going to climb a ladder of 5 distinct price categories, ranging from your standard budget all the way up to ultra luxury. And at each rung of this ladder, we're going to judge the cheese on 5 exact criteria. We're looking at flavor complexity, texture quality, melt behavior, finish length, and honestly, most importantly, the value ratio. See, we aren't just asking what tastes better here. We're asking, what exactly are you buying?
Let's step onto the very first rung of our ascension ladder. This is the budget category, coming in right around under $5 a kilogram.
Now, at this price point, you're really just buying simple fuel. This is your standard processed block cheese. It's mass-produced, heavily standardized, and really designed for pure function. When you bite into it, it's kind of rubbery, right? If you try to snap it, it doesn't break, it just bends. It provides functional calories, some fat, some calcium, but with a completely one-dimensional flavor. There's basically no evolution as you chew. The flavor arrives, says a quick hello, and immediately leaves the room. Now, I want to be super clear here. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. The budget reality is that it uses commodity milk, aggressive pasteurization, and artificial stabilizers just to stay shelf-stable. And you know what? Because of the emulsifying salts they use, it actually melts incredibly well for a simple grilled cheese or, say, a lunchbox quesadilla, but it offers absolutely zero pleasure beyond the basic satisfaction of hunger. You eat it, it feeds you, transaction complete.
But the moment we transition to the mid-range, so we're talking between $10 and $20 a kilogram, something fundamental changes. And that gap between budget and mid-range, you feel it immediately in your mouth.
This tier introduces real aging and real bacterial cultures. So we're talking about young Goudas, mild cheddars, young manchegos. This is where cheese stops being just simple fuel and actually becomes the soul of the everyday eating experience. There is genuine time invested here, usually somewhere between 3 to 6 months of aging, and you can absolutely taste that effort.
Notice how the budget cheese just bends like plastic, right? But the mid-range cheese yields under pressure and breaks with this satisfying clean snap. The flavor expands too, going from one single note to maybe 2 or 3 distinct notes, like a slight nuttiness or maybe a gentle earthiness. Because of this massive leap in quality for literally just a few extra dollars, this is the absolute best value point in the entire cheese spectrum.
But the weirdest is yet to come, because as we step up to the premium tier, sitting between $30 and $50 a kilogram, cheese completely stops being just an ingredient. It becomes an experience.
And this brilliantly illustrates the true separator at this tier, finish length. Look, budget cheese disappears in about 5 seconds. Mid-range lingers for maybe 15. But premium cheese, it leaves an incredible 40-second finish. Half a minute after you've swallowed, you are literally still tasting the complex layered notes of a properly aged 18-month cheddar or a beautiful Gruyere.
The texture here is totally exceptional too, and it's largely thanks to tyrosine crystals. These are tiny, crunchy amino acid deposits that form during that really long warehouse aging process. They provide this deliberate, super satisfying crunch hidden right inside a rich, mouth-coating paste. It really rewards your attention. Now, lean in closely for this one, because as we cross into the $80 to $150 a kilogram range, we enter the luxury tier. Here, cheese stops being an agricultural product altogether. It becomes a historical subject. At this price, you're buying an edible story. You're buying terroir. This is the completely untransferable magic of specific geography, a specific herd of animals, and quite literally centuries of human craft. We're talking about 36 months Parmigiano Reggiano or a 5-year-old extra-age Gouda. The finish length pushes to an astonishing 60 to 90 seconds. At this point, it's no longer just flavor, it becomes flavor memory.
And here is an absolutely crucial warning. Do not melt luxury cheese. Honestly, melting it in a sauce completely wastes the 10 to 15 distinct, highly volatile flavor notes that it took years to develop. This tier is meant to be shaved, savored, and eaten in small, deliberate quantities as a finishing cheese.
So, what happens when we push even further? What happens at the absolute extreme edge of the cheese world? Well, welcome to the ultra-luxury tier, starting at $300 a kilogram and soaring straight into the thousands. This is where the bizarre truth of cheese economics is finally revealed.
So the crucial point is this. Once you cross into ultra-luxury, price and flavor completely separate. The curve flattens out, and you are no longer paying for a superior tasting experience. You're paying for the illusion of rarity and the undeniable weight of status.
This ultra-luxury tier literally buys you the absurd. Things like pool, which is made from Serbian donkey milk that costs $1,000 a kilo, or cheese made from wild moose milk in Sweden, or white Stilton infused with literal edible gold leaf. Now, the gold leaf adds zero flavor, and frankly, milking a wild moose doesn't necessarily taste any better than milking a cow. You are buying a luxury good, a wild novelty, and honestly, a fantastic story to tell at your next dinner party.
In fact, if you place a $50 piece of premium Comté right next to a $1,000 piece of Poêlée, the truth becomes totally obvious. The donkey milk cheese is interesting, sure, it's distinctive. But the $50 Comté actually delivers a longer finish, a far more complex flavor response, and a fundamentally better culinary experience for 15 times less money. It's wild.
So let's bring this all back down to earth and summarize exactly what your hard-earned money is doing. Under $5, you buy fuel. For $10 to $20, you buy real cheese and everyday joy. For $30 to $50, you buy genuine complexity and a long finish. For $80 to $150, you buy an edible story and pure craftsmanship. And for $300 plus, well, you buy status, extreme rarity, and a really great dinner party anecdote.
So what should you actually take away from this explainer? Really just 3 actionable steps. First, moving from budget to mid-range is the single greatest return on investment in the grocery store. It is the best value hands down. Second, save premium cheese for special moments, where the food is the actual focus. And third, recognize that ultra-luxury is all about status, not flavor.
The only mistake is spending luxury money expecting a proportionally luxury experience. That grocery store guilt you used to feel, it's gone now. It's completely been replaced by knowledge. You now know exactly how this whole curve works. And you're going to need that knowledge because in our next explainer, we're going to build the absolute perfect $10 cheese board that will beat a poorly made $100 board every single time.
But until then, I want to leave you with a thought to ponder. As you walk down the dairy aisle, looking at all those shelves, when you build your next cheese board, will you pay for the flavor or will you pay